Is Montreal about to mortgage their future for 34-year-old savior, or are they making the shrewdest move of the season? The hockey world is buzzing with whispers, rumors, and backroom conversations that could reshape the Montreal Canadiens' trajectory for years to come. While most teams are cautiously navigating the early season waters, Montreal's management is preparing to make waves, big ones. The target? Nashville Predators three-time All-Star Ryan O'Reilly, a name that carries the weight of championship pedigree, but also the undeniable reality of Father Time's relentless march. This isn't just another trade rumor floating through the NHL grapevine. This is a calculated chess move by a franchise that's tired of being patient, tired of waiting for their young guns to mature, and hungry, absolutely ravenous, to accelerate their return to relevance. But here's the million-dollar question that should have every Canadiens fan either electrified or terrified. Are they about to pull off a masterstroke, or are they desperately reaching for a lifeline that might not hold? The Predators' predicament. When stars collide with reality, let's cut through the noise and examine the cold, hard facts. Nashville entered this season with Stanley Cup aspirations, armed with veteran firepower and the expectation of contending in the brutally competitive Central Division. Instead, they've stumbled, faltered, and now find themselves staring down the barrel of yet another disappointing campaign. The Predators aren't just underperforming, they're drowning in mediocrity, and when NHL teams start sinking, the lifeboats get deployed quickly. Enter Ryan O'Reilly, the 34-year-old center who's become Nashville's most valuable trade chip. Despite his age, O'Reilly isn't some washed-up veteran clinging to past glory. Through 22 games this season, he's posted 13 points while dominating in the face-off circle with an impressive 57.3% win rate. These aren't empty statistics. They're the numbers of a player who still understands the game at an elite level, who can still impact winning, and who possesses something Montreal desperately lacks: championship experience. TSN's Pierre Lebrun dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through hockey circles. The name that has the most interest is Ryan O'Reilly, which isn't surprising. There are teams that called on him last year as well. The Predators decided to keep him at the time. He's got a year and a half left on his contract at $4.5 million, which is very appealing to teams looking for a center who's a Stanley Cup champion. That contract detail is crucial. In today's salary cap-strangled NHL, finding a legitimate top-six center at $4.5 million is like discovering gold in your backyard. O'Reilly's affordable cap hit makes him not just desirable, but potentially transformative for a team with the financial flexibility to absorb him. Montreal's master plan. Youth meets experience. The Canadiens aren't just casually window shopping here. According to LeBrun sources, Montreal has emerged as one of the primary suitors actively pursuing O'Reilly. This isn't surprising when you examine their roster composition and current predicament. The Canadiens are the youngest team in the entire NHL, a collection of promising prospects and developing talent that's shown flashes of brilliance, but lacks the steady hand of veteran leadership when games tighten and pressure mounts. After a surprisingly strong start that had fans dreaming of an early playoff return, reality has crashed the party. Montreal has won just 3 of their last 10 games as of late November, sliding down to 5th place in the Atlantic Division. The honeymoon phase is over, and the harsh truth is evident. Young teams hit walls, and when they do, they need guidance from those who've climbed over those walls before. This is where O'Reilly's value transcends statistics. He's not just a center who can win faceoffs and contribute offensively. He's a Stanley Cup champion who knows what it takes to navigate the grueling NHL season, who understands playoff hockey's physical and mental demands, and who can mentor Montreal's young core through the inevitable adversity that defines championship pursuits. The Canadiens recently signed Alexander Texier on November 23rd, adding another piece to their forward group. However, Texier is a natural winger, and Montreal's center depth remains their Achilles heel. O'Reilly would immediately slot into their top 6, providing the kind of two-way excellence and face-off dominance that elevates entire lines. The price of ambition. Nashville's steep demands. Here's where the story gets deliciously complicated. Nashville general manager Barry Trotz isn't running a charity operation. He knows O'Reilly's value, understands the market demand, and, most importantly, recognizes that if he's going to dismantle this roster and pivot toward a rebuild, he needs to extract maximum value for his premium assets. LeBron revealed Nashville's asking price, and it's enough to make any general manager pause. I'm told, if and when the Predators are ready to go down that route, it'll likely be a first-round pick and an A-level prospect to get into the conversation on O'Reilly. Read that again. A first-round pick and an A-level prospect. Not a mid-tier prospect. Not a project player. An A-level prospect. The kind of young talent that represents a franchise's future, the players you build around, the names that generate excitement and hope. For Montreal, this creates a fascinating dilemma. ESPN recently ranked the Canadiens' prospect pool 5th best in the NHL, highlighting elite talents like goaltender Jacob Fowler, defenseman David Reinbacher, forward Michael Hage, and Alexander Zurovsky. These aren't just prospects. They're the foundation upon which Montreal's long-term success is being constructed. So the question becomes, which prospect are you willing to sacrifice? Which piece of your carefully assembled future are you prepared to surrender for a 34-year-old center with 18 months remaining on his contract? This is where General Manager Kent Hughes earns his salary. This is where organizational philosophy meets practical reality. This is where you discover whether your management team truly believes this young core is ready to compete now, or whether patience remains the wiser path. The financial chess match. Montreal's hidden advantage while the prospect cost is steep. Montreal possesses a significant advantage that could tilt negotiations in their favor: financial flexibility. According to Puckpedia.com, the Canadiens currently have approximately $3.5 million in cap space. O'Reilly's $4.5 million cap hit isn't prohibitive. With some minor maneuvering or potential salary retention by Nashville, Montreal can absolutely make the numbers work. Compare this to other contending teams operating right against the salary cap ceiling, forced to perform financial gymnastics just to add a depth player. Montreal's cap situation gives them leverage, the ability to act decisively while competitors struggle with spreadsheets and calculator apps. Furthermore, O'Reilly's contract expires after next season, meaning this isn't a long-term commitment that could hamstring the franchise. If it works, Montreal has accelerated their competitive window. If it doesn't, they've only sacrificed 18 months and can reassess without being locked into a multi-year albatross contract. The championship pedigree factor. Let's talk about what can't be measured in statistics or cap calculations. Winning experience. O'Reilly hoisted the Stanley Cup with the St. Louis Blues in 2019, earning the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. He's been to the mountaintop. He knows what championship hockey smells like, feels like, demands. Montreal's young roster is talented but inexperienced in high-pressure situations. Players like Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and Juraj Slavkovsky have immense potential, but they haven't experienced the playoff grind, haven't felt the suffocating pressure of elimination games, haven't learned how to elevate their performance when exhaustion sets in, and every shift matters. O'Reilly brings that intangible quality that scouts call winning DNA. He'd provide a template for how professionals prepare, compete, and conduct themselves during the season's most crucial moments. For a young team, that mentorship could prove more valuable than any statistical contribution. The risk calculation, what could go wrong? Let's not sugarcoat the potential downsides here. O'Reilly is 34 years old in a league that's getting faster, younger, and more skilled every season. While his current production is solid, age-related decline is inevitable. It's not a question of if, but when. What happens if Montreal surrenders premium assets and O'Reilly's performance drops off a cliff next season? There's also the chemistry question. Just because you add a talented player doesn't guarantee seamless integration. Montreal's young core has developed chemistry and identity this season. Inserting a veteran into that dynamic could either enhance it or disrupt the delicate balance they've established. And let's address the elephant in the room. Is Montreal actually ready to compete for a Stanley Cup? They're currently 5th in their division, struggling through a rough patch. adding O'Reilly might improve them. But does it make them legitimate contenders? Or are they jumping the gun, sacrificing future assets for a marginal improvement that falls short of championship aspirations? The competitive landscape. Who else wants O'Reilly? Montreal isn't operating in a vacuum. Multiple contending teams are reportedly interested in O'Reilly, creating a competitive bidding environment that could drive the price even higher. Teams with more immediate championship windows might be willing to outbid Montreal, offering even more attractive packages to Nashville. This is where Montreal's prospect depth becomes crucial. If they're willing to part with one of their elite prospects, they can likely outbid teams with shallower organizational depth. But that requires conviction, absolute belief that this move transforms them from playoff hopeful to legitimate contender. The March 6th deadline. Time is ticking. The NHL trade deadline looms on March 6th, and every day that passes provides more information. Will Montreal's recent struggles continue, making them sellers rather than buyers? Will they rebound, validating their aggressive pursuit of O'Reilly? Will Nashville's season deteriorate further, forcing Trotz's hand earlier than expected? These next few months will define Montreal's season and potentially their franchise trajectory. Kent Hughes must balance present opportunity against future potential, weighing the immediate impact of acquiring O'Reilly against the long-term cost of surrendering elite prospects. The verdict: bold move or desperate gamble? Here's the brutal truth: there's no safe answer. If Montreal acquires O'Reilly and makes a deep playoff run, Hughes looks like a genius who recognized his team's window and acted decisively. If they surrender premium assets and flame out in the first round, or worse, miss the playoffs entirely, the criticism will be merciless. But perhaps that's exactly what makes this potential move so compelling. Montreal has been patient, endured years of rebuilding, and developed one of the league's most promising young cores. At some point, patience must transition to action. At some point, you must believe in your players and give them the tools to succeed. O'Reilly represents that transition point, the bridge between promising future and competitive present. He's not a rental player who disappears after 3 months. With 18 months of team control, he provides sustained impact while Montreal's young players continue developing around him. The question isn't whether O'Reilly would improve Montreal. He absolutely would. The question is whether that improvement justifies the cost, and whether Montreal is truly ready to shift from building to competing. As this drama unfolds over the coming weeks, one thing is certain: Montreal's management faces a franchise-defining decision. The easy path is maintaining the status quo, continuing to develop young players, and waiting for the perfect moment that might never arrive. The bold path is recognizing opportunity, accepting calculated risk, and betting on your core's readiness to compete now. Ryan O'Reilly won't be available forever. Nashville's asking price won't decrease. Other teams won't stop pursuing him. Montreal must decide whether they're content being young and promising, or whether they're ready to be competitive and dangerous. The clock is ticking. The stakes are enormous. And somewhere in Montreal's front office, Kent Hughes is weighing the future of his franchise, one difficult decision at a time. What do you think about Montreal's pursuit of Ryan O'Reilly? Is this the bold move that accelerates their rebuild, or a premature gamble that could set them back years? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want more exclusive NHL analysis that cuts through the noise and delivers the truth.